Hi everyone, it's Fitz with a Power Talk. It was a busy day on Tuesday morning. We had multiple opportunities. Open practice, timing got a little messed up. I didn't see as much as I wanted to. And here's what's interesting about the 15, 20 minutes we had. There's a lot of guys out right now, but when you talk to people, none of it seems to be serious. It's just that point of fall camp, I think, where you're getting some bruises. That's not the right word. Some physical ailments, not bruises, but like a ligament that's giving you a little problem, a little muscle soreness that might lead to a tear, that they're being very cautious. They don't want to lose someone at this point of practice for a prolonged period. They'll probably see everyone kind of come back in that has been on the sideline. A lot of that's going on in special teams. And I'm going to talk about that quite a bit in this video because the second half of what we got today were the three defensive assistant coaches, not Joe Clanderman, we'll get him later, and Nate Kaczor, the special teams coordinator, special teams coach. He's got so many titles. So we'll get into that. The good news is George Fitzpatrick was at practice. He was not suited up. He's not there. Whatever happened to him and what's ongoing is still in the treatment process, but he was there because I saw his glorious hair. He makes it all look so easy. So hopefully we'll see him back sooner rather than later. But shifting to the coaches, this was a really interesting discussion. There's something to be learned from all of them, but let's talk about special teams because that's an area that I've gotten a lot of questions about. Who's kicking? Punting is still in the same hands, but who's doing the main kicking jobs and who's going to be the returners? I don't know that I've ever seen K-State fans that focused on this area, and they love their special teams. You guys love them. I do too. But the answer is we don't know. We got none of the depth chart. But a big part of that is a lot of the kickers and punters are sidelined right now with ongoing things. And little did I know, Cub Patton was hurt in the summer, and that's why they brought in the late junior college transfer kicker. And I think, he's been doing well, but he's taking most of the reps right now because he's the fullest healthy guy. But return game's interesting. Coach Katzon talked quite a bit about Dylan Edwards. I think it was Kellis Robin had asked a great question about now that Dylan's going to be the starting running back, do you lose him? And he said that's just kind of the nature of special teams is, guys move up the list and the depth chart of playing time, you tend to lose them. But he's hoping to hang on to Dylan in some ways. I think Devon Rice developing into a much more confident dude is going to help him a lot. Funny story, they threw him out there and he had a really good return against Colorado, but they threw him out there and coach said, I wish you could have seen his face, his eyes. He was scared. He returned a lot of punts and kicks in practice, but not in a game. And now that he's kind of proving his worth, not just as a returner, but as a running back, and Chris Kleiman's brought this up, his confidence is elevating quickly. He's beginning to build a sense of who he is as a player and that he can really be something special. And they say it's reflected in the return game. I look for him to do a lot. And I look for Sterling Lockett probably to handle the punts, which would be an indication that he's not in the starting receiver rotation. The first guys go on the field typically. But I'm confident Sterling will be seeing more time than he has so far in his past. So we didn't learn a whole lot, but it was fun talking to a specialized coach that just does special teams because this dude knows his stuff. And, he handles himself like an NFL coach, which he has been. But he really drilled down on how important that the repetitions are over and over and over, especially for a punter. And that you've got to be able to replicate everything you do in practice with 50,000 fans and 10 guys trying to kill you. You've got to have the same pace. You want to hit a big punt, you can't change your step length and any of that, you're going to throw yourself off. So kind of keeping yourself within the framework of really good fundamentals is extremely difficult for young punters. I thought that was really interesting because I hadn't really thought about, you know, it would be the same as if you're a pretty good weekend golfer and now you get to go tee off like a pro with a gallery and someone calling your name and everyone watching you on the tee box. Replicating all your fundamentals probably becomes a little bit less easy. But if you do, you're fine. And that's kind of what he's getting at. But it's that ongoing nature of the return game where you get someone really good. And unless they're just absolutely elite, like a Tyreek Hill, you're not going to get them full time. But he hopes he can hang on to some of Dylan Edwards' playing time. He hopes that Dylan is available to him in special situations, and he might be. And I think I'll probably look for that to happen in punt return. Unless Sterling really kind of develops his game and builds his confidence to the point where you feel like he could break it at any moment. Because let's be honest, I don't think we've felt that way so far about Sterling. We felt like he's going to catch the ball. He's going to be safe and secure with the ball. You trust him to put him out there. Another thing Coach Kaczor said, you know, if you're putting them out there, you have a belief. If you didn't have that belief, you wouldn't do that unless you necessarily had to. I mean, you absolutely had no other choice. But they believe in Sterling Lockett. And I really hope early in this season, Sterling has a significant return for his own confidence, for everyone's belief in him, and, well, for the good of the team. Because if you're having to use Dylan Edwards in the punt game or in other areas of the return game, you might see him less in the backfield or split out at wide receiver. Because there's only so much wear and tear a kid can take. And let's be blunt here, Dylan isn't a big dude. He's not even as thick as a Deuce Vaughn or Darren Sproles. And while he does an incredible job of taking hits, avoiding hits, moving his shoulders, not letting anyone squared up, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And you just need him out there in the running and passing game as much as possible. But boy, can he return punts. I'll be interested to see. I'm with all of you. I want to see great improvement from the special teams units, right down to the snappers who really struggled last year at times. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Kansas State fans are not used to seeing special teams cost them games. This is the X factor. This is the secret sauce. This is the hidden thing that other teams don't replicate, being really, really good in special teams. If K-State football returns to that this season, you might see a potential loss turn into a win because of a big blocked punt, big return, or maybe even just great field position punting that changes the field, flips it over, and makes the other team drive farther. Those things are the little things K-State football did up till recently that helped them win a lot of games. If this team wants to be everything it can be, the Big 12 champions, go to the playoff and win a game, special teams has got to be good. It's got to return to the form we're used to, whether you're a fan or media or a coach. Kansas State football is good in special teams. They come out on top of that almost every game. When that tradition is lost, the tradition of winning 10 or more games is also gone.